Welcome back to Historic Forest. This is the second video in my series of building my small camper trailer, similar to a teardrop. Alright, I've measured the door and cut the first one. That took a long time and I didn't record all that. But now I've placed the first cutout that I made on the second piece of plywood. Now I'm going to trace it out, and then I'm going to cut this piece of plywood, and it should be a mirror image of the other piece of plywood, and then I'll be able to have two sides that should match exactly. So let me go ahead and trace all this out. Alright, it's all traced out. Now I'll take off the clamps, separate the plywood, and I'll know where to cut. Alright, it's time to cut it. Well, there's the first cut. Time for the second cut. All right, that's the second cut. Now it's time to cut out the door. So to start it, I've got to use my drill to drill a hole, and then I'll use the jigsaw. Well, there you have it. The door is cut out. I've cut everything out. Now let's see if the molding fits in the door right. It fits, so I'm good. Now what I've got here is the last video I finished the floor of the trailer, which is this. Now I've cut different pieces to make the base of the galley in the back of the trailer. I have a slide on a tray that will be the base for the refrigerator that goes in the back of the trailer. So I had to measure the height to give plenty of room for the refrigerator to come in and out. So that determined the height of the back wall, which is 19 inches. The width of this tray that pulls out, I measured it to try to get it to go halfway across the back of the trailer. I've drilled 3 holes in this centerpiece here so I get ventilation for the refrigerator, because it takes up so much of this space that I don't want it to overheat. So I put ventilation here. And also on this side is a hole that goes through the trailer to get ventilation from the bottom of the trailer. And I can also run all of my electronics through that hole. Now there's another hole back here for venting and running electronics. Now I've measured everything for the back of this off of this slide. I made sure the slide was on the edge here, and that determined this length, and then I made sure that the back wall goes in 18 inches like I calculated, because this is 18 inches deep. So now that I've got all that done, it's time to start putting this thing together. Slide again, and you can see the slide works great, and this will support 50 pounds, so that'd be plenty for my cooler. Well, now I've just got to connect to the back of the center board and the back panel, or the inside wall of the trailer. Now that I've got that in, I can take off these clamps. There. Now I have this thing pretty well together. I'm going to put a couple more screws in it, and this bottom part of the galley will be finished, and I'll be ready to start on the sides. All right, I put these two braces here to hold up the sides when I put the sides of the trailer that I've cut out up on the trailer to connect it. All right, let's get started. Now, as you see, this sits on the lip that I created on the side of the trailer, so I don't have to hold it in the air. Just got to adjust it back a little. Okay, that's up, clamp it on. All right, now that I've got it on here, now I have to just connect it to the trailer. Well, that's one end. It's not going to go anywhere now. Now that I've got it lined up, I'm going to finish putting all the screws in it, and I'll be back with you in a little while. All right, I have one side up. Now let me get the other one up. There we go. All right, Got it all lined up. Now I just got to screw it in. Well, I don't think you just want to watch me put in screws. Now I have my walls up. Now I have to put the beams across the top. Well, I think I got it in there. Now all I have to do is tighten it up. Well, now that I have the beam across, I don't need the braces anymore. So let's take these things off. All right, now that I've got the top beam on there, now that I've lowered the braces, I can now start putting up the beams that go across the front, like this. Alright, that's tight. Now I'm going to continue to put in more of these pieces of wood, beams across, and it'll be the same process.